welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine and this is More to Her, and today I will be going over my labor and delivery story. As you can see, I had another baby. I don't think I ever announced that on my channel but yeah, I had another girl and I will not be showing her because this is public and not private. So yeah, anyways, but I will be going over my labor and delivery story, as well as giving a list of names of baby girls that I loved and thought of using but did not pick. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this type of content. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe, whatever your little heart desires. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the labor and delivery story. So if you want some context of why I chose to go natural this time, because I had problems with my epidural and you just want to know all of that, then go ahead and watch my first labor and delivery story from my first baby girl. But yeah, because of what I spoke about on that video, I chose to go natural this time around. But natural with a twist. I don't know if it's considered fully natural with what I did, but anyways, we'll get into that. But the first things first is how I went into labor. So last time I was TMI. If you don't like hearing nasty things or like medical things, then you probably don't want to watch this video because I'm gonna go into it. But last time I spotted some blood, and then when I googled it, it told me that that is a sign that you would go into labor 24 to like 78 hours. So this time around that did not happen. This time around I was just having a lot of, I don't know if they were Braxton Hicks in the beginning or like small contractions, because like I could never tell the difference, but I was definitely having some of that on the week of Christmas, like the week following up to Christmas or whatever, probably like 6 days before I actually gave birth. So it wasn't like normal Braxton Hicks. Like, to me it was definitely like, whoa, this feels like this child is trying to escape my womb and she's gonna be here early. I had a feeling that she would be here early. My first baby girl was 2 weeks early, and I don't know, I saw that would happen a lot to other first time and second time moms, and it happened to my cousin who was just a month away from my due date. So she went to labor 2 weeks early. So I was like, I just know this is gonna happen to me as well, and it did. So I gave birth at, I don't know if it's 37 or 38 weeks. I can't do the math right now, but 2 weeks early. So that being said, I started getting some sort of contractions like 8 days before, but they started getting strong like day before I actually gave birth. And I had it in my head that this time around I would not X out the epidural. Like, I would still consider it if I felt like I couldn't handle the pain. But I spoke to my midwives and spoke about other options to handle my pain without the epidural, and they gave me an option of having an IV with some pain medication, or to do a, what do you call that, laughing gas. So I asked her, you know, what are the consequences with both of them? How do they both affect baby? And they said that the laughing gas does not affect baby. So I'm considering that that's considered like going natural. And then the pain medication does make baby drowsy. So I was like, no, I definitely don't want to go for the pain medication because I don't want baby to be drowsy or like any complications. Like, laughing gas sounds fun, it sounds good, so let me consider that. I did some research on Google and also like watched YouTube videos of other mothers who chose to do the laughing gas, and they said that it was effective. So I was like, okay, cool, let me try that. So as soon as I got to the hospital, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was having contractions like strong, probably starting around 11. but I didn't go in until like they were obviously close together, like closer than 5 minutes, well, 5 minutes or closer apart. And yeah, so they were tolerable to me because, like I mentioned before, I've had really bad menstrual cycles when I was younger. Like, I would have the worst cramps where I would like ball up and literally cry and want to scream for how painful my cramps were. So I think like my body's like already used to this type of pain. So I was able to tolerate the contractions, but of course they were painful. So anyways, got to the hospital around 3 and gave birth like 6 hours later. So my first time it was like 15 hours later. My second time it was 6 hours later. And I used the laughing gas. And the laughing gas does not make you laugh. And that I knew before even trying it, because the midwife told me, and the videos spoke about how, I don't know why it's called laughing gas, but it doesn't make you laugh. That would have been cool though. But it just literally like calms you. It's a tank of like, you know, like those helium tanks or those air tanks that you see. Well, it's like a huge, not huge, but like it's a pretty big size tank with a tube and a mask. So every single time that I felt a contraction, I would just put the mask over my face and inhale the laughing gas, and the laughing gas would like relax me. It didn't take the pain away, but it definitely made it more tolerable. And also, like when you breathe in through the mask like vibrates on your face. So I felt like that vibration that would happen on my face would kind of like disconnect me from thinking about the pain or feeling the pain. And it was also kind of like a little massage on my face. So it definitely like, I don't know, like it disconnected me for a little bit from the pain, and it relaxed me. So yeah, so I don't know how else to explain how it helped me, but it definitely helped me. But of course, like, girl, every single time that I will feel a contraction, I would huff on that thing, and I felt like I was like an addict or something, like just like trying to inhale all I can possible of the laughing gas. And then I would like feel like, I don't know, like this pressure like in my head of like just like where you kind of like want to doze off because it just feels so good, but you could still feel the cramps and the contractions. So anyways, I just thought that was super cool. I pushed for probably like 40 minutes or less. And yeah, it really wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. Now, this is my body. This is what I felt. Obviously, I mean, I was screaming like literally my first time that I gave birth with my first baby girl. I was calm, cool, collective. Like I didn't feel anything but pressure, like lots and lots and lots of pressure. You know how they say like if it feels like you're about to poop, but you're pushing out your baby. That's what it felt like the first time around. And then the second time around, it feels the same way, but with pain, obviously, because I didn't have my epidural. And I was like screaming like in the movies. I was like, oh my God. And then the lady was like, do this or do that. And I was like, I can't. Like, I laugh at it because it's just wild. It's what we have to go through to have a little baby. Like, it's wild. It is, pregnancy in itself is just like, it's just crazy when you think about it, when you go through it, like everything that your body goes through, everything that you just feel in general going through pregnancy, like every single symptom was like, wow, like this is really doing this to my body all because I'm pregnant. Like, wow, oh my God, look at this new symptom. Or like every single time I felt something, it was just like mind-blowing all over again that I was pregnant. But yeah, so and then labor, there's no words. There's really like, I don't know how to explain it. There are no words. It is a wild, wild ride. And I like the fact that we do this, the fact that us women go through such a process to have a human. I don't know. But anyways, As far as my recovery, it's been great. That was another reason why I chose not to do my epidural, because I felt like my epidural had factors into my recovery last time around and how horrible it was. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. I felt like I was gonna fall into a depression, and not a postpartum depression because of baby or anything like that, or hormones. Like I don't feel it had anything to do with that. It literally just felt like a depression because of, like, I was just so sad and so much in pain that I felt like it was never gonna end. Like I would never be able to carry my baby without having pain. Like I would never be able to like pick her up again and breastfeed her and like play with her and like be 100% a hands-on mom, because of the pain that I had. I felt like the pain that I had in my back would just linger on forever, and I just didn't feel like I would see the lights of when that was gonna end. So I felt like I was gonna fall into a depression because I couldn't be the mom that I wanted to be after giving birth. It was like I could barely walk, and yeah, so this time around, after giving birth, like I was able to walk. Like I walked all the way from my room down to the parking area to leave, and I remember them having to push me out in a wheelchair the first time that I gave birth. So I literally do feel that it had to do with the epidural. Like I for sure feel like that messed me up, and I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving medical advice, I'm just telling you my story. That to me, that's what, I'm not trying to scare anyone away from an epidural. I know a lot of people that it's helped out. I know a lot of people who came out good from it. It definitely helped me out. Like I was chilling, doing videos and taking photos. My first time when I did it with an epidural, but it had its other factors that I feel like just messed me up. But again, that was my body. That's how my body reacted. So I'm not trying to scare you away from that. But yeah, that's my testimony. But this time around, like I'm telling you, like I was walking, I was feeling good. Like I am feeling good. I don't have any back pain. And also I go to the chiropractor. And before giving birth, like the first time around, like I already saw how much the chiropractor has helped out my back. I saw it with my own eyes on my x-rays, the before and afters, and just by how I felt, like I felt really good for a while after having chiropractic treatments, and I've been going consistently. So to me, it definitely works, and I feel like that has a factor too in how I felt this time around. So anyways, that is my labor story. Now let's go into the fun part of baby names. Oh my God. Tell me how stressful it is to pick out a baby name. Super, super stressful. Like, it's just a big responsibility. Like, what if your child doesn't like the name that you chose for them? I hope my baby loves her name. Her name is unique. We definitely didn't want a common name this time around. And yeah, I mean, I hope she'll like it, but we'll see. And I'm not gonna say my baby girl's name because I like to keep things private when it comes to my children. But as far as like the names that I loved and did not pick, I'll go ahead and give a list. So if anyone's looking for a name and they like any of these names, feel free. I hope I don't get pregnant again and have another girl, because I'm gonna be mad if someone steals one of these names. But I'm not planning to, and I don't think it would be another girl. Imagine if it would be another girl. That would be wild. But anyways, so the first name that I really, really loved, but my husband did not like, was Alaia. He thinks it's a pretty name. He just didn't want it. And I don't know why. I forgot why he said, but Alaia, I loved it so much. I also didn't like push too much on it because I did see that someone that I know, their daughter's name is Alaia. And I don't like picking names of like people that I know have kids with that name. or that their name is that name. Even though my first baby girl, like one of my friends, we both picked the same, we were pregnant around the same time. Like she gave birth 3 months before me, and we both had the same name in mind, and we picked the same name. And I almost changed it because she gave birth first, and then I saw that she had that name, and I was like, oh my god, that's our name, let me change it. But it just felt like it was her name. Like there was no changing it. Like it literally, that just felt like it was her. And I had my mind on it for so many months before I even got pregnant. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna change it. But anyways, this time around I was like, okay, let's just do something unique, because I don't want to, like, you know, pick someone else's name or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I loved Alaia. Oh, and I should have got like the meanings of these names, but anyways, you can Google the meanings. Another name that I loved and my husband hated was Catalina. I always love Catalina. Like I just love Spanish names, like names that sound beautiful to me in Spanish. Like I just love to give baby girls like a super Latina name, you know. Another name that I loved, like, I don't know if I love it, I feel like I like it. I heard a little girl, like I asked her one time, I feel like at one of the churches that I went to, I was like, hey, what's your name? And she told me her name, and I was like, wow, like I never heard of anyone with that same name. Like I don't know, it just like stuck to me of how different the names sound and how pretty it sounds and cool. And this name is Galilea. Galilea. And I know there's like an actress or something in Mexico who has that name, but when I heard the little girl, I was like, oh my god, that's so pretty. Another name is Maya. I love the name Maya, also because it starts with an M, and both of our moms' names, me and Jamel, their names start with an M, so I thought that would have been pretty cool. But I don't know, we just didn't choose it. Another name that I loved and we did not pick because someone else picked it in my family before I got a chance to pick it was Julissa. Julissa. And we actually had a family friend named Julissa a few years ago when I was thinking of getting pregnant. I was like, that's such a pretty name and it starts with a J, and I always wanted a J name, but everyone that I know always picks a J name, and it's just like, what J names are gonna be left for me, you know? And literally all the names that I like that started with a J, like people already picked them. So yeah, and that's what happened with this one as well. And the reason why is because my name is Jasmine and my husband's name is Jamil, so we're both J and J, and I just wanted to keep on with that tradition, and we didn't get to, but it's okay because I love our baby girls' names. All right, anyways, the next name is Ruby. I really loved Ruby. I saw this name a few years ago, and I just thought it was so cute, especially like as a middle name. I wanted Ruby to be my first daughter's middle name. But Jamil really loved the name that he picked for her middle name, and I thought it would just be cute to like give that to him, so we went with that instead. But anyways, the next name that I thought was cute was Madeline. See, it sounds pretty in Spanish. Ruby también sounds so cute in Spanish. But yeah, Madeline, I think it's a beautiful name. It also starts with an M, but we didn't choose that name or choose. I can't even speak. And then another name was Noelia. We were literally about to name our daughter Noelia because we do not know any Noelias. We feel like it's not a common name. Obviously there's like an artist with that name in the Latin culture, but like other than her, like I never met another one. And it's funny because we heard this name when we went to one of my sister-in-law's pageant. There was this girl who's just amazing in pageantry. She won the crown that year when we went, and her name was Noelia. And when we both heard her introduce herself and she said, my name is Noelia, whatever, me and Jamil both looked at each other and were like, oh, that's kind of a cool name. And we like kept saying, yeah, we're gonna use that name, this and that. But my sister-in-law and her family really loved Noelia, the girl from the pageant, and she's definitely an inspiration for many girls, including my sister-in-law. So we would hear the name a lot. Like, they would talk about her a lot and mention the things that she would do. So I just feel like we just kept hearing them say the name so much, and they didn't know that this was the name we were interested in. But they just kept like talking about her whenever we would talk pageantry and stuff. So we just like heard her name way too many times that we were like, you know what, never mind. Another name that I love, but is taken from a family member. Like, I always loved this name. It's Victoria. I think it's such a powerful name, such a pretty name. It sounds good in English and Spanish. Victoria. I love it so much. John, shout out to you if you even watch my videos. And Marlene, that is their oldest daughter's name, and I just love it so much. And also, I believe my other cousin, her daughter's either first name or middle name is Victoria as well, and she got pregnant like a year or two before me. So when I saw that she picked that name, and she also picked Julissa, I was like, but anyways, Angelique is also a name that we had on our list. I just think it's very beautiful. Jade is a name that I love since I was like 12 years old. I just thought it was the coolest name. It started with a J. Like, it's just a cool girl name. It's super pretty. But my cousin, who just recently gave birth, she named her daughter, she gave birth like a month before me, and she named her daughter Jade. I love that name. Jamil wasn't on board with it, so we weren't gonna pick it, but it was a name that I loved since I was like in middle school. Another name, Jaylene. I thought Jaylene was super pretty, and it was an option, I think, for like a middle name, but we always do like a drawing or whatever to pick out our baby girl's name because we're so indecisive. So we like we write the names and we put them on pieces of paper and we crumble them up and we both like pick out a name. And we strongly believe in that God has a play in that, because when we did that with our first baby girl, we both picked out the same name for her. So we were like, this has to be it. And then when we did that for our second baby girl, the same thing happened. We both picked the same baby girl name like in our first try, which is wild to us. So we were like, oh no, this is definitely meant to be. So that is why we didn't pick Jaylene, but Jaylene is beautiful. It's a J name as well, but it wasn't meant to be. Jaelis was a name that we were also thinking about, and it starts with a J, but we didn't pick it. Ava is a name that I love since I was in middle school as well, but we did not pick that because I think someone in their family has like a similar name. It's not Ava, but it's similar. And then Melody, because we both love music. I never thought to pick this name. I've heard it so many times. You know, people pick names like Lyric, Melody, and just other things like that because they love music or they're musicians. And I just, before I would think, oh, that's weird, like, no, but we both love music so much, and we like do music together. So then it started growing on me, and I was like, you know what, that is a cute name, Melody, but we didn't pick it. And yeah, that's my list. I feel like there's more names that I do love that are not on here, but these were definitely our top. Some of them were not Jamil's top, but they were definitely my top. But yeah. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to DM me or comment down below and let me know which names you liked, if there were any, if you're choosing any of these names for your future baby girls, or if you're currently pregnant with a baby girl and one of these names is also on your list, like, let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.